evening. It's Bronwyn here with today's Black Mental Health is Black Health. I'm the Black Couch Therapist, and today we have an exciting guest. As always, I only have exciting guests. But as you know, we start off with taking a few deep breaths, getting rid of the cares of the day, allowing you to have that woosah so you can really focus. So let's get started. And my guests, you get to breathe in with us. So we'll breathe into the count of 4 and we'll breathe out to the count of 4 very slowly and very deeply. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Let's get started. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. One more. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Just that woosah at the end of the day. Well, Sister Jada gets to tell us, who are you? And tell us something cool about yourself.
Okay. Hello, my name is Sister Jada. I go by Sister Jada around here at Shape Community Center in 3rd Ward of Houston, Texas, where I am coordinating the 31st annual Freedom Tour. So I am a Shape baby and now a Shape adult. I grew up going to Shape's after school and summer programs, learning about Black history, culture, just general life skills. And now I am back excitedly to kind of pour the same back into the youth. Something interesting about me, I can be very timid, but I get very surprisingly aggressive when it comes to fighting for my people and equality. So one year I got this opportunity in college, or the year after college, to go on a fellowship to Germany that the Embassy of Germany was sponsoring with my university. And this was like right around the Obama time. And I was a student journalist. And I was looking through the itinerary and everything. And I'm like, one thing I know, a part of my Shape upbringing, is that Pan-Africanism means there are Black people everywhere. Mm-hmm. Wherever we go, wherever there are people, there's some piece of Africa somewhere there. There's some Black presence that I was seeking to connect with. So yes, I say all that to say I was 19, 20 at the time, and I was writing to the German embassy, we need to get Afro-German representation on this trip.
And were you successful?
We were, yes.
Awesome.
They found I think the one, I shouldn't say the one, I don't know, but a very small the one Black newspaper in in that city, and they connected us with them. So
awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. That is the way to go. And that is a perfect way to get us started to what we're talking about tonight. So tonight we're going to talk about Shape Community Center. You heard her mention Shape Community Center. So we're going to figure out what is Shape, where is Shape, who, what, where, when, all of this about Shape. So Jada, I want you to start off by telling us, what is Shape Community Center? Just what is that?
Shape is a nonprofit organization, again, here in the 3rd Ward of Houston, Texas. It stands for Self-Help for African People Through Education, but all people are welcome to seek support. And that's what Shape does, is provide support and resources for the community. It's been doing so since, I believe it was 69.
I think so.
That Shape was founded, and truly just that time period alone lets you know kind of what the essence of Shape is all about. It was coming out of that civil rights era, moving into the Black Power era, and there was this big drive by local activists, community organizers, educators all across the South. Houston is no different. I say it to say a lot of times there are cities that don't get mentioned in the civil rights history big overview, but it's always important to remember, again, everywhere we are fighting and struggling. So, and advocating for ourselves, seeking liberation. So that's what a group of people here in Houston did almost 50 years ago,
Yeah.
and have been on the forefront ever since in Houston for civil rights, all sorts of social justice movements. But the heart of it really is community outreach. SHAPE does a lot for the heartbeat of SHAPE are the children and the elders. So there's lots of children's programming, youth programming, and we just had our Elders Wisdom Institute earlier today.
So tell us, let's get a little more into that. They do have programs, like you say, for children and for elders. So since you mentioned the Elders Institute, which meets on Thursdays, which met today, what is that?
So that is a space that every community should be making to bring our elders together, just checking on them, making sure we as their community are seeing their face every week, seeing how they're doing, seeing what's going on with them, seeing what they might need. And that's what we do at the Elders Institute. There's always food. We always have a wonderful lunch for them. Our volunteers come in and serve them. We treat them like, esteemed members of our community because they are. So it's a communal social gathering resource for our elders, which is really important. But beyond that, it's also an opportunity to collect and circulate and distribute the wisdom that is within our community at all levels. So sometimes it's a member of our community elder doing a presentation on something that they are very knowledgeable about or an experience they had. Mama Lindy, I think, was a previous guest of yours. She's one of our great elders here at SHAPE. I know that one day she was recounting the story of her, growing up in apartheid South Africa and having to escape from political persecution. Sometimes we have people from local dietitian, nutrition, breathing experts, wellness people, and they come in and share things with the elders. So it's the kind of thing that I say every community should have, because it really is a part of a healthy community and a healthy community ecosystem when you have things for elders and people of every age to feel like they still belong, like they are still needed and wanted and valued.
So let's go to the other end, the children. You mentioned summer programs, after school programs. Let's start with the after school programs. What do you offer for after school?
Yes, so Sister Maya is our wonderful children's programming director, and she is an excellent resource for our kids. That's our whole goal, is to just be, for SHAPE to be a resource, whatever it is that you're seeking to have a need met or to even explore your own creativity. So the kids are always fed in some way, get homework support during school time, tutoring, as well as some sort of usually there's some sort of cultural enrichment activity or class. I know and of course technology, arts, crafts, they bring in experts from all over the city. And of course that's after school childcare. And then the summer, it's just a much bigger version of that.
So hours, how long are they there?
I'm going to have to confirm that, but I believe it's until 7 or maybe 6:30.
Okay.
Great. But they pick them up from after we have a van, our SHAPE van, and we go pick them up from school. So we do transportation. Yeah. When I was growing up and coming to SHAPE after school, we would do. We even had Swahili classes sometimes. We would have drum classes, African dance. So Black History. I remember I was a Black History Bowl champion.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. And exactly, I was proud of that. I'm still proud of that. So it's things that, you know, we've my sister was a chess champion competing at Shape when she was growing up. So it's just ways that kids can feel proud of themselves, lots of different things for them to explore.
A real educational experience for the children.
Yes.
So I want to really focus on the tour, the Freedom Tour that you guys take over the summer. And the reason I want to focus on that, audience, this is your opportunity to make a donation. But you're going to find out why, and you're going to be willing to donate because this is such an awesome experience. So, first, just tell us, what is the Freedom Tour? How did it get started?
Yes. So the Freedom Tour, this will be our 31st year. So it's been a 30-year legacy program with Shape, which, yes, I just want to pause for a second to celebrate not only a vision being manifest, but it being able to last and sustain for such a long time. So shout out to our founder, Brother Deloitte Parker, and everyone who's over the years been a contributor to making sure the Freedom Tour happens. The Freedom Tour is an homage. Honestly, it's an ode to our elders, our ancestors, and really it's to the spirit of liberation that has, you know, animated the Black culture across generations within the Black community within this country and across the diaspora. Our struggle is the same, you know, but it looks different based on where you are. So that's what we really want to do is, so it's an homage to the civil rights, specifically struggle movement of the 1960s and 50s in the Deep South.
You know, and that's a strong history lesson. And people, you know, complain, and I agree, how history is being rewritten in the public school system. And, you know, there was no civil rights movement. There was no period of enslavement if you look at our textbooks. And so it is important that we teach that. And the Freedom Tour allows, you know, students, our young scholars, to experience because they're going to different places. Now, I know it's changed. In the past, they went to several states. Tell me a little about that, and then I'll ask you about the way it's going. Was it 6 states or 5 states? What was in the first 30 years? What was it?
Yes. So yes, this is our immersive trip to go visit all these significant civil rights landmarks in these places that are very special to us as part of our culture, and that contribute to the struggle overall. So in the past, we've been very ambitious and successful in our ambition of traveling to 6 different states in 7 days. Now, some years it was 5 states, but we would try to hit all of these significant places that you hear about, right? In the national reflection that we've kind of have about the civil rights movement. We go to Selma.
Yeah.
So we would go to Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, and Arkansas.
So tell me one place each state where you went.
So Arkansas is, we'd go to Little Rock Central High School, where the Little Rock Nine had a historically integrated that high school and had to have National Guard protection. Memphis, we went to Memphis in 2024. That we went to the Lorraine Motel. We went to, which is where the site of where Dr. King was assassinated. It's become it's been turned into a museum. So a wonderful museum. We went to Stax Museum, which was our first this past year in Memphis, which was a Black record company. But yeah, so in other places we've, in Louisiana, actually when we went in 2024, and so in New Orleans, we do Ruby Bridges, Congo Square in New Orleans, in Atlanta, we went to in 2024, we went to the Madam C.J. Walker Beauty Shop Museum, which was a wonderful kind of boutique museum. In Alabama, we always go to Selma and recreate the Bloody Sunday March from Selma to Montgomery, which is always a very powerful experience. I feel like I'm trying to. I'm
idea. And the reason I ask, I wanted people to just get a feel for how much is out there. Many of these places, some people have never been and never even thought about, in terms of the civil rights struggle. And these are some key places. I can say that. So I've sent my child on the Freedom Tour, and one year I was working as working with youth at a church, and we did a replica of the Freedom Tour. And just to speak of the communal nature of SHAPE, it wasn't like, well, this is our tour, we're not going to tell you anything. No, it was here, great, take, because we're going to take a busload of kids. And they were like, great. And here are all our contacts. So it made it really easy when we wanted to do it, because we missed out on doing it with them. And so we were going to do some other things, but they were very instrumental in helping us plan, for that as well. And I thought that was just so cool. We were not trying to take over and take their place, because it is amazing what they do. So this year you're doing something different. Tell us about that.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on what you were saying, I want to mention, yes, this is collaborative. There are other Freedom Tours out there. There are similar programs, and we support that. This is about the kids. It's about our community and making sure that this knowledge and information gets passed along. So, again, building on that, we always partner. We've historically partnered with a center called NIA Cultural Center in Galveston, Texas, and we bring they have a summer freedom school. And so we bring a group of students to come along with us. So we're always looking for ways to collaborate and share this information. But yes, this year, so the last Freedom Tour was our 30th in 2024. We didn't go in 2025 because we had a fire in our primary building and that was where most of our youth programming took place. So we had to recover. But we, with everything going on right now, in terms of the social landscape, the political landscape, the very specific attacks on the specific history that the Freedom Tour addresses, we couldn't wait another year. So we said, we're going to do it in 2026. And we're also going to do it a little bit different. Like I said, it was ambitious, and we were successful, and we had a really great and wonderful time going to all those states. But this time we're looking to really dig in, because like you said, these places are our cultural wealth and heritage. These are I see the Freedom Tour as a pilgrimage. These are our opportunities for us to really value the depth of history that a lot of that we can't rely on others to value. We have to make it a big deal that we're going to Selma, where blood was shed on our behalf. That is a big deal, to go and stand in those same places again. And so not only do we want to continue doing that, but we want to make sure that we're actually engaging and connecting with these stories and these places, because like I said, you'll hear like the national big headline stories. And, thankfully we have gotten past just Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, but we're focusing only on one region this year, Alabama, because there are so many smaller places that had significant contributions to the civil rights movement, to equality, to the advancement of the liberation struggle. And so we figured, hey, let's give some of those places, the time that they deserve as well, because not just is that our heritage historically, but so many things are going on now.
Yes.
Some things that those struggles are still happening right now, And so we want to equip our kids to be able to be connected to that and hear it from the people who are actually living it and who lived it.
So, what are some of the places you're going to go to in Alabama?
Yeah. So we're going to be going to Mobile, which I'm
Mm-hmm.
very excited about. We're going to it's the coastal area, and that'll kind of start us off with because again, the focus is generally civil rights era, but we like to cover as much Black history as we can to get us there. So Mobile is going to be our Middle Passage slavery kind of thematic focus, because in not maybe in the past 10 years, the wreckage of the last U.S. slave ship Clotilda was found off the shores of Mobile, and so they've recovered some of that and developed that into a cultural visit, a site to come visit. So we'll be in Mobile. We'll go to Gee's Bend. That's where we're going to start getting into sharecropping and agribusiness of Black history and our history of agricultural economics. So Gee's Bend has a wonderful history of textiles. Cotton obviously is a part of our history, for better and for worse. And this is a great instance of the better, because they were able to build so many such great economic streams of income to take care of themselves by quilting, by using these cultural practices. So of course and then we'll go to Tuskegee. We'll of course visit Tuskegee University, see George Washington Carver's lab museum, Booker T. Washington's childhood home, the Tuskegee Airmen field, the training field. And then we'll go to Selma and Montgomery, and we will visit the entire, I'm calling it the Bloody Sunday complex, the Edmund Pettus Bridge complex. So we usually start at Brown's Chapel AME Church, which was a significant organizing location during the civil rights movement, and just walk our way, follow that path. And then once we get to the end, there is a sort of makeshift gravesite for the unknown, just as a memorial for the unknown ancestor, essentially, who participated in some way. And so we like to stop there and do a libation ceremony, say some nice words. And there's some wonderful museums in Montgomery and Selma, the legacy sites by the is it Equal Justice Initiative? I cannot recommend enough. Excellent. Like I said, these are tourism opportunities that a lot of people don't value this culture or this part of history, haven't invested in, but there have been a lot of investments into it, and so it's worth making a trip. Go and support these places.
And then I think that's important what you just said about it, and it's more than just tourism. It is really an investment in our heritage, our history, because not only do children not know our history, you find many adults. I have gone on the tour. I've gone on a friend of mine and I years ago did our own basic freedom tour, and we went all the way from Texas to the Carolinas.
Wow.
To the Islands, and stopped at several, sites along the way. And I think it's so important, when families think about taking, and now gas is high, I get it. But when you think about taking road trips that people still do with families, and I've talked to some people who do, that's just an excellent way of taking a trip, or flying to somewhere in Alabama and, renting a car and going to different sites. It's important that we know our history and understand it is an amazing vacation time. Vacations can be fun and educational. And you can do this with families. You can do this with friends. Like I said, I was probably in my 20s. And we just got together, and that's what we did. And it was amazing. Learned a lot. And so we didn't have any kids with us, so we could stop and just really see things. And we went as far as the Gullah Islands. And that was
I wish we could. So yes, this is our first regional Freedom Tour, Freedom Tour Alabama, the road to Alabama. But in the future, I'm aiming for a Gullah Geechee Freedom Tour. I want to go to Savannah. I want to go to the Carolinas.
Savannah was amazing. Now, I started the show, and it's in the chat, but I started the show saying, you might want to donate. Why do you need money? Why should people donate money, and how can they donate money?
Yes. So the Freedom Tour is a very special program for us. Again, not just all the time, because whether it's, peacetime, chaotic times, this history is always relevant and important, but especially right now. You mentioned that, there's history that is being threatened in schools, and that's true. But what scares me sometimes is that even the history that's being threatened in school is only a bare minimum.
Right.
It's only, and it wasn't even the best. We were already skeptical of
teaspoon. So yes.
And so it's like we're not even trying to fight just to reserve. So we're trying to fight to reserve the bare minimum, but something like the Freedom Tour gives us an opportunity to take it even farther than that. And not only in terms of get into the in-depth into some of these histories and organizing strategies and learning how they actually were able to pull off a bus boycott. What are some of the things they did? But there's also, like you said, these are kids. And I know that you have a mental health focus, but this was something that we've all thought about throughout the tour. This is heavy material that the age group is 11 to 16 this year, but previous years we've had kids as young as 6. And some of the we go to a lynching memorial that is very powerful and very affecting and very important for the kids to go to, but it's also important for us to be mindful of helping them process these things in a safe way, in a way that is
age appropriate. Well, in terms of the donation, so people can donate to defray the cost, because how many children are you planning on taking?
So we'll have 50 total, 35 youth and 15 elders.
And the funds, as I understand, will help defray the cost, because I want to get it in. We're about out of time, and I want to make sure people will know that. So you can imagine this is an expense. They're gone for a week, and staying this time at a campsite, but they've got to eat, they've got to sleep, they've got to have gas for that bus, you've got to pay for that bus. If you value our history, then I encourage you to donate, even if you only got $5. It's fine. If you got 500, that's great. Got 5,000, we'll take that too. But if you have an opportunity to donate to pour into the lives of our children, and the elders that will be with them, and the young adults that will be with them, if you have the opportunity to pour into their lives, please do so. I want you to say where they can do it, and it's in the chat. You can, in the comment section, you can see, but I want you to just say it, Jada. Where can they donate?
Yeah, so you can go to shape.org. That's SHAPE.org. And you can learn more about the Freedom Tour at shape.org/Freedom Tour. But you can donate at the Support SHAPE tab, and you'll see a button there that you can donate specifically to the Freedom Tour under the payments drop down. So
right, and it's in the chat, in the comment section. If you're on Facebook, it's in the comment section. But if you're not, again, shape.org/Freedom Tour. Go to the Support tab and look for Freedom Tour.
Go to the Support tab and go to Payments. And then when it says what you wanted to support, you'll click Freedom Tour.
All right. We are out of time. Hope you guys learned something, not just about Shape Tour, but a bit of history, and hopefully it piqued your curiosity into knowing more about our history. So please, please, please support Shape Center. Know more about your history. Even if you can't go, do a little research and find out about all of these sites. The period of enslavement was real. The civil rights movement was real. So adults might need to know history and definitely pass it on to your children. So Jada, thank you so much for coming on today, and hopefully you will inspire some people to donate.
Yes, thank you for having me. Thank you for everyone watching. Connect with us to learn more, to donate. We accept all types of support and partnerships. So we look forward to your support.
Thank you.
All right.